Good morning, pregame crew. It is Tuesday, June 21st, almost said Monday, 2022, 8:20 a.m. Eastern, 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time. Welcome to the pregame show. If you're tuning in later in the day, you may want to fast forward till this says 6:30 down here. At that time, I'll get started with the indices, commodities, crypto, movers, and shakers of the day. I'll rip through about 25 charts in 25 minutes, and then Dan will be live in our chat room at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Between now and then, I'm going to do a little housekeeping, say hello and hi to my friends, take a few chart requests, answer some questions, and then we'll get started in just a little bit. Audio visual check, please. Good morning, Greg, Night Truck, LAP, to win, Topher, Mal, Martin, Peggers, DC, Australia. Awesome. Thank you for joining me and hanging out with me this morning. Well, y'all are first, so if y'all have any chart requests, throw them in there, and then see. I don't have approval or thumbs up yet on audio visual. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Gerbil King. Andre. Thanks, Night Truck. I appreciate it. Hey, Colby. How are you? You new TCG member. Hey, Lewis, Maxence. Good morning, Anu. Awesome, Roger. Thank you. Roger, did you say you're going to the meetup? I can't remember. I'm so excited. Okay, Solano, let's do it. I'm gonna do Coinbase. Weekly downtrend, daily trend change. That's a clear pivot. Lower high, $36, higher low, $27.10, and now we've got a higher high up here at $38.51. Your next resistance is at $42. We have not cleared the 21 EMA or the 50 RSI. Y'all know that's my litmus test here. Typically, you reject when you test the 50 RSI for the first time. 4-hour uptrend is fine. No big deal there. Hourly EMAs are below us. So if you're in long, you can make a simple statement. I will stay in long as the hourly EMAs are below me. I will stay in long. That's my trade keeper. Oh, you can't go, Roger? That's okay. You'll be there, Mira Asia. Awesome. I almost said your real name. Good morning, CCJ. Miguel, you and your asphyxia. Yeah, hit that like button. Okay, let's look at CCJ. We got a stair-step pattern. And if you don't know what a stair-step pattern is, you really are missing out in life. It can really simplify your trading. And that just means we have a series of lower highs on these candles. When we break that high of the low bar, so right now it would be 21.56, which it looks like we could break it this morning in pre-market. If we could hold up, then that would be a bull break and you enter on that long. So on the daily stair step, on the weekly, bulls are looking for a higher low compared to $20.02. And guess what we ran into? The Great Wall of Louisiana, the hourly 50 MA. They got to deal with that. They got to sort that out. 22.13 is your next resistance over Friday's high of 21.56. Derek, awesome. I'm glad the video's fine. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, I think I told you last week, Miguel, SVIXI is a leverage instrument. You're not going to get great reads on those on longer term time frames. I'll give you the levels just because 48.16 is resistance, and you have support at Friday's low, 45.63, and then 45.24. Now let's go look at VIX. VIX has enough room for a 4-hour higher low. Do you see that? Have a gap below. I wanted this gap to fill on VIX, and then I wanted to short the market. I have shorted NASDAQ this morning. I got some scalps out of it on the hourly overbought, but I wanted this gap to fill on the VIX at 29.61. So we have enough room for a higher low, and on a bounce, we could get a lower high, which would behoove or help the market bulls. So on VIX, I would be careful where we are here. If you're trying to go long SVIXI, i.e. you're trying to short the VIX, I don't know if I would short the VIX here. I would wait for a bounce. Yep, Spirit Airline, they have a deal or offer from JetBlue. They've raised their offer from $31 a share to $33.50 a share. So yes, very bullish this morning. Big opportunity where price is compared to that $33.50 the deal would go through. JetBlue is getting really hungry for this deal. I would be surprised if this deal didn't go through, but it's not money in the bank. But if you want to try, $23.19 is the current price, $33.50. That's quite a large premium over current price. So if we could gap fill, go back to Friday's high of 21.41, doubt we see that. But that would be a nice area to enter. Your next support pre-market low is 22.70. I will be going over Tesla. Good morning, Luciano. I will be going over Tesla, no problem there. I'll have you covered in a second. Plug, if you're in long, as long as these hourly EMAs are below you, you stay in long. You got to keep your criteria super simple. Trading can be difficult, but you can keep it simple with simple rules. And I don't want to say it's difficult, it can be challenging, but you can still simplify the process with simple rules. As long as the hourly EMAs are below me, I will stay in long plug. We have a daily trend change. We got over 1561 on Friday. Nice bounce, 11%. We're running into the 50 MA on the 4 hour. Hourly is overbought. So hourly overbought would mean more to me if we were in a daily downtrend, but we just changed a daily trend, so it's not as important. So I would still be looking for healthy consolidation. Plenty of room for 4 hour higher lows. You're welcome, Miguel. Hi from Germany. Adobe. I'll get started in 3 minutes with indices, commodities, crypto, and movers and shakers of the day, okay? 4 hour EMAs are overhead. Daily, lower low. Definitely weaker than some of the other names. They obviously had bad earnings last week. Or guidance, one of the two. Below last week's low, 338. Your next, sorry, don't want to make y'all sick. Trying to get to support here. Below 338 is 33257. 33257 is your next support. Now, daily is not oversold. You see a name like this making lower lows and just drifting downward, melting down, and we're still not oversold. That's frustrating. If you're trying to buy this dip, it's just not setting up correctly. You want everything to be oversold. Or most time frames, I should say. Hourly 50 MA. Great Wall of China, Great Wall of Louisiana, 36732. Got to get over Friday's high to start making some headway with this trend change. Got to get over Friday's high. Absolute must. And bears are going to be waiting right here at 26732. PayPal. $71.83. Okay, so we broke that low. This low over here, this 71.83. You know what? This looks like a falling wedge. We're getting lower lows without a lot of follow through, and then you zoom out on those and see if you can spot a falling wedge. It may be more of a channel, so I will go easy on calling it a falling wedge, but it sure is giving that behavior and the characteristics of a falling wedge. 70.47 and 70.71. I would say that's good enough for a daily double bottom. And right now you have hourly uptrend. You're going to want to hold 72.62 at open. Looks like you should be able to do that, but bears are going to be waiting right here at 77.10. They're going to be waiting right there to top fish. They love to hate on PayPal and Square. BNB, and then we'll get started. Four-hour inside bars, you see that tightening range, so you have resistance at 224, support at 218.70. If you're in long, I'd stay in long as long as these EMAs are below you, and I would be acutely aware of a potential rising wedge here on the 4 hour. I would be aware of that. So just keep moving your stops up. Hourly EMAs are below you. I would stay in long as that's the case. Oh, thank you, DW. I appreciate that. Y'all ready? Let's get started. This is who I am. I'm Chart Guy Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. Give me a follow on Twitter. Give me a like on this video. And if I don't give you a nugget by the end of the video, you can take your like back. How about that? If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. And even better, Joey did a video on my chart setup. He taught me something about my own chart setup. I had my opacity wrong on the pivot, so pretty funny. But you can check out that video. I think I have a pretty simple setup. It may look extra colorful because of these yellow candles, but my eyes, I like for the inside bars to just jump out for me. So what I do here every morning is I wake up and all the puzzle pieces are thrown on the ground. I try to put them together and get a roadmap for the day, and I share that roadmap with you. So what I'm looking at right now on ES is potential hourly head and shoulders. And by the way, these are all my notes to make sure I stay on track. I have to type everything out. It gets it clear in my head, and then I copy and paste this in the chart guys chat room. I share with our members so they can slice and dice it as they see fit. All right, so on ES, I want us to be aware of this potential. Now, we choose our words very carefully. Potential head and shoulders. It is not confirmed. 372025, that's the neckline. So if we could get a little bounce going right here, bulls need to be concerned of potential right shoulder. 3741 would be the symmetry of that shoulder on this right side. Something to be aware of. It's early pattern rec, but what we're looking for overall is 12-hour lower highs. 12-hour lower highs are the most likely scenario on ES, on NQ, on RTY, on YM. 12-hour lower highs are the most likely scenario. So right now I have my bear hat on. I'm only looking bearish, and if it doesn't set up, it doesn't set up, period. So I'm looking bearish because I'm going to stay with the probabilities. And y'all remember we have talked, I banged on the table all last week on reverse back burner, and it worked again this morning. So I was top fishing NQ with this hourly overbought on ES, hourly overbought on NASDAQ. I thought NASDAQ was a little bit clear. When you're in a daily downtrend and you get hourly overbought, that's typically a good signal. You got to wait for a little bear confirmation. You want to see some volume and a pause in price, bear volume. That can be a good area to go top fishing. All right. What else did I want to say? Hang Seng is up 1.87%. That's a pretty green day. For our Asian friends, DAX, the DAX is up 1.22%. That's not a comma, sorry. Decimal. Still in reverse back burner mode. Charts with daily downtrends, scouting those hourly overbought conditions for top fish setups. All right, and the stair step pattern is your what? Your friend. Stair step pattern is your friend. I'm incorporating this more and more into my trading. It just such clear signals, absolutely clear signals. All right, aggressive bears are looking to top fish this morning, and the conservative bulls are waiting for pullback buys. We talked about the 1 hour head and shoulders, daily lower highs, 4 hours at 50 RSI. I think NASDAQ's over it a little bit. Yep, we're at 52, but ES is below it. Look right here, we're at 49. 50 RSI. Always remind yourself, what is relative strength index? What is RSI? Over 50 is a strong move. Below 50 is weak. 50 RSI equals to 26 EMA. Fun fact. So I like to watch those RSIs to serve as potential resistance. And that's what's happening right now in ES. That's where we're taking a pause. RTY, IWM, we're at 48. Good morning, Richard. And the Dow, we're at the 4 hour resistance. All right, looking at VIX. So on VIX, we have plenty of room for a 4 hour higher low, and I'm noting this gap below at 2961. As a market bear, I want that to touch the 2961, get that gap filled. Sorry, that was my country slipping out. Get it filled, and then I would like to short the market. However, noting VIX lower high is the most likely scenario. We have a really wide range here on VIX. $35 and let's just say $27.75, $28. That's a pretty wide range. So we could EQ out within VIX and also EQ out within SPY, because let's go back to SPY. They have enough room for 4 hour higher lows. You see that? So this is the more likely scenario, is we pull back and then we EQ out. EQ means equilibrium. VIX, same thing. bounce, lower high most likely, and we tighten up. And then who ultimately wins this battle? We may know Tuesday or Wednesday, or who knows. All right. I didn't have anything to say about the US 10-year or 2-year. They're pulling back their red. That's good for the overall market. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I have a word of caution for you. So Bitcoin, where we closed, I was looking at the close over here. Let me tell you, be exact. So we closed Friday at 20447, so 20,500. Okay. Now we pulled back hard Saturday, and we've bounced almost 22% or over 22% since Saturday's low. Does that mean when we wake up, Coin, Mara, Riot, Hut, all of these crypto related names, are they going to be up 22%? No, because Friday we closed at 20,500 on Bitcoin. So we're up 22% from that low. Let me delete that. And you see we're only up 4.9% from Friday's close. So the stock market stopped trading. Bitcoin kept trading. So then I would expect Coin, Riot, Mara to be up approximately 5%. And if they're not, there could be, I don't want to say arbitrage, but opportunity for it to be a laggard play. So you see Coin is up 4.55%. I'm just cautioning you, don't look for that 22% bounce on Coin because it didn't experience the large drawback or pullback on Saturday. So we have to remember that. All right. That was one point I wanted to make on Bitcoin. Daily lower highs are anticipated on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Daily lower highs. The 12-hour, Dan keeps pointing out the 12-hour charts look very similar to NASDAQ and ES, and I agree. Well, let's see the 1 hour. Does it have a head and shoulders? No. It's not clear. It's not as clear as NASDAQ and ES. No. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you on ES. Okay, I'm going to get all this messiness off. Look at this. We've got bear divergence in the RSI. So we've made a higher low so far. We're holding on the hourly a higher low. Look, RSI made a lower low. That's bearish divergence in RSI. So that's something else I want to note. This has me leaning a little more bearish this morning. All right, let's get to our commodities. And if you're a TCG member, you see all these notes over in Commodities channel. I post around 4 o'clock in the morning. So with gold, gold bulls have to be so disgusted with their friends. This is our broadening formation on gold. We're right in the middle of it. What I mean is, look at Dixie. The dollar is pulling back, downtrend, 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 and gold is not seizing the opportunity here. We have a disconnect. Typically, they're a nice inverse relationship, and we just have a disconnect right now. Hourly downtrend running into the hourly 50 MA. 1844 is your resistance. Support 1832. Oil, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high. We're looking for a 12-hour lower high. So there will be an opportunity to short, but the bulls aren't giving up just yet. So let's let them get this out of their system, but I am looking to top fish oil today. Nat gas. Look, nat gas is super weak. It's not even in the whole 12-hour scenario. It's making lower lows. It can't even bounce properly. So since I did my lines this morning, it's pulled back hard. So on that gas, we are in hourly downtrend. EMAs are absolutely dominating price. Now, this is a nice lower wick. If you're a bull, you're like, okay, I like that lower wick. So be careful. We're right in our support zone. Now, as a nat gas bear, I want a touch of the 8 EMA on the daily. So I need a much bigger bounce to short. I don't want to sit through red while I'm waiting for the bounce to happen to short it. So I'm looking for another bounce to short on nat gas, and I'm going to keep doing it until it stops working. Oh, good. Chris, welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to TCG. Okay, Apple. Apple, I am looking bearish first thing out of the gate. Now, we have enough room for higher lows on a lot of time frames, but I'm looking bearish right out the gate against 137.34. See, the hourly RSI is not overbought yet. When it gets overbought, the closer we can get to 136.69 or 137.34, I like it for a top fish. Now, I'm going over Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, and Tesla every day. I'm going over those 4 names because I get asked about it so often. It doesn't mean I necessarily see a clear setup. Okay, so on Amazon, it's stronger than Apple this morning, but again, we have a clear top fish level, 109.40. If the bulls get through it, they're through it. But if we pop, if we pop at open, we're gonna be into that hourly overbought, and it could be a top fish, but I'm not gonna top fish thin air. Your next resistance over 109.40 is 110.74, Nvidia. Chris, where do you look to be a TCGer? Okay. Chart guys, membership, right there. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you, BNTC. Very nice. Okay, Nvidia. So Nvidia, same thing. I'm looking for a top fish. Now, this is not a confirmed broadening formation. It is not confirmed. We typically want to see 3 touches. We want 3. And it can't even bounce up high enough to get that 3rd touch on the top line, but it's just a pattern I want to be aware of. We're bouncing pretty good. We're up 3%. That's pretty strong compared to Amazon and Apple bounce, but bears will be waiting at 167.58, and then right behind that, 168.68. Okay. Next support, 158.40. Let's not get into any discussions in the chat room that can be argumentative. Let's just stick with technical analysis and be friends. All right, Tesla, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high compared to 706.99. Now, let me flip back to Amazon. You see how Amazon is so close to this and this? Apple, we're close here, here. Now look at Tesla. Whoa, what happened? Look at the distance. Tesla is a relative underperformer compared to those other names. So I would look to top fish Tesla. You can bottom fish a pullback looking for a potential hourly high or low. We have enough room for that. Or top fish a pop. AMT got to upgrade. I like this name. Fundamentally, I should clarify, I have it in my dad's account for that awesome dividend that we just got. But after dividends, you typically get a little pullback. We got to upgrade this morning. I think 285 is the upgrade. I like a pullback buy on this against 23368. Bank of America. We just got a channel. I just want to make sure that we're staying focused on. I went over it. What was that? Friday morning. And look, we touched it perfectly. That's what I was looking for last week. We touched this bottom trend line. Now I'm looking for a bounce up into resistance. I'm just showing you this channel. If it's something you want to trade, great. You could look for a pullback buy against 31.89. Okay. Okay, Boeing. Now this is going to be an unpopular one. BA had great bounce last week compared to everyone else. Beautiful bounce. But if you bounce from a higher high down to a lower low and you bounce straight up into that high with no breather at the daily 50 RSI, I'm going to short it. Now, this could be a broadening formation happening here. And if that is, what's the more likely scenario? That we break 142.21 up here and then we fail because it's a broadening formation. So think about that. So we either top fish 142.21 if the bears step in and show up with volume and price pausing, or we wait for that higher high, get the higher high over 142.21, and then wait for a 15-minute trend change to the downside and short that. I really like this setup. I like this setup for a top fish against 142.21 first thing. And then if no bears show up and bulls show up, because they had some news of some orders this weekend, let's let the bulls wear themselves out, go run into the Great Wall of China, i.e. the daily 50 MA. I would love to short a tiny higher high and then wait for it to get a 15 or 5-minute trend change back to the downside and short that. I really like this setup. To me, it's pretty clear. There's 2 ways to short it, but there's no way for me to go long on it because I feel like I've missed the bounce and I want meat on the bone. CCL. Same concept I just went over. We go from a lower high to a lower low and bounce straight up into that high. Give me, give me, give me. I want to short 1010. 1010, top fish on CCL. Doesn't mean it'll work, but it's clear. If we pull back, we could be setting up for a little inverse head and shoulders. That's fine too. But top fishing 10-10 makes sense. All right. Carvana. Okay. I've got a bull bias on Carvana. You see how RSI is making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and price is making lower lows, lower lows. Bullish divergence on RSI, daily falling wedge. I like Carvana. And now I need a pullback. So I like a pullback buy to the EMAs. Pull back into that 2350 range. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I like the falling wedge on Carvana. Net had outage last night, and somehow that news is just totally missing on this name. We're up 3%, but they had major outages overnight. So I'm looking for a top fish of 44.57. Do y'all see a theme? You see it? Higher high, straight to a lower low, bounce right up into that higher high. I'm going to short it, 44.57, but I got to have bear volume. I got to have bear friends with me. They got to show up, and price has to pause. I can't just go short 44.57 blindly. XLE. And this is going to be a weird one too. I was shorting XLE all last week. Okay, so bear with me. XLE, we're looking for a weekly higher low. So $71 was the last higher low. We got a higher high at 93.31. We're pulling down into that $71, okay? So we're looking for a higher low compared to $71. Daily is oversold. Do you see that? Daily oversold. Looking for a weekly higher low, I like the odds of that trade. We've got gaps overhead, gap at 80.99, gap at 87.68. Not saying we're going to get there. Bear flag is probably the more likely scenario, but I like XLE for a bounce this morning, and I'm going to be real careful. I'm going to keep one eye on oil and one eye on the market in order to trade XLE to the long side. It is a risky trade because the bears have momentum here, but you give me daily oversold, scouting a weekly higher low. I'm going to look for that long every time. Good morning. Good morning. I went over CCJ earlier, Emira Asia. We have the stair step pattern. I went over that. And we're looking, you could look for hourly higher low compared to 2064. Assuming this weekly higher low will more likely be set because of the size of that bounce. You could look for a higher low compared to 2064. You're running into that hourly 50 MA. You got to go deal with the hourly 50 MA and get over 2213. All right, XBI. Okay. I had this on my list this morning, and then I just could not find a setup that I could articulate well. We have a daily trend change. Hourly's overbought, but we've changed the daily trend, so I can't short hourly overbought with a daily trend change to the bulls. I can't. Top fishing 69.50 makes sense up here. We're somewhat extended, but the bulls have had control of this chart. Maybe wait for your first 5-minute trend change to the downside and try a top fish. I am looking short net, Mary, only because, well, they had outages last night that I don't know why it's not factored into price, but we're bouncing from a lower low straight into that last high. That type of bounce is typically a higher probability trade setup for me against 44.57. Brushing your teeth? I'm glad you're brushing your teeth. AMC. 1297 is a clear top fish level. Yeah, do y'all see my bear hat? So when I come to every chart setup, I come from a bear first mentality. Why? Because the overall trend of the market is down. I have to stay with the trend. Now, I can buck the trend here and there and cherry pick situations where they may work for a long, but overall, I have to come from a bear first mentality. It's so funny. I was seeing a functional medicine doctor, and she was saying, you know, all of our meals should be a protein first mindset. Well, we should have bear first mindset on every chart setup we see. Bear first. Sure, a pullback by at 1143 makes sense, but until the bears lose control of these larger time frames, I'm going to always give the benefit of the doubt to the bears because that's just the market we're in. GGPI. Yeah, I'm not a SPAC fan. SPACs start at $10. That's why it's a magnet around $10 all the time, these GGPI names. Any SPAC, they start out at $10. I don't know what the rules around it is. You have resistance at $11. You have support at $9.90. I don't know what to do with this. 4 hours overbought and a daily downtrend. You got a higher high by 12 pennies. That's not a bull break for me. Now we're looking for a higher low and go break it. I don't know. I don't have a trade for you. You're sitting there at the daily 50 RSI. 4 hour, you're overbought, and you've got upper wicks of bears selling into these pops. So it kind of looks bearish to me. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. VALE, that looks like a 4 hour bear flag, so be careful there. On the weekly, we're looking for a higher low compared to 1452. They have enough room for it. Can they do it? They have a lot of bear momentum right now. A lot of bear momentum. 1523 is resistance, and then the high of Friday, 1532, support 1475. Looking for that potential weekly higher low compared to 1452. Okay, one more. My thoughts on a Bitcoin or a crypto bottom. We are at the monthly 50 MA. We've lost the weekly 200 MA. This could have been a vol climax. So let's look over here what that means. Do you see this? That mark, we went just slightly lower and then we popped. Is this that, oh, well, fudge. I hate it when I do that. So is this a temporary bottom? A climax bottom? Sorry about that. Is this a climax bottom right here or here? Of all climax? I don't know. We're a weekly inside bar. We may stay inside last week's range all week. And if I were a bull, I would welcome that. Just stop breaking to lower lows. I don't see a bottom. Weekly's oversold, sure. Daily's no longer oversold, and it looks like a daily bear flag. 4 hour, they're over the EMAs. That's good. Daily EMAs, as long as they're dominating price, I'm going to take the side of the crypto bears. You're welcome. If you could hit that like button before you hit that exit door, that would be great. Hit the subscribe button, the notify button. TCGers, I'll copy these notes and put them in the room, and I will see you over in the room. Use stop losses.